Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing on this fine holiday evening, Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2022? And I am pleased to share that the Gizmo electric guitar build is in the drawing phase, as you can see. Sometimes you just have to go when inspiration hits you, and I've always loved the Gremlins movie. Me being a little bit older, I mean, when I was a teenager, that movie came out, and it was quite profound, and I really loved Gizmo. So, I've been wanting to have had an idea to do a Gizmo-based themed guitar for a while, but I could never really come up with a concept. But it stumbled upon me. This concept just kind of came to me, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes you just have to go where inspiration takes you. And yeah, I'll be doing this one. I'll be starting this. This is the next build I'll be doing too. I know I've got all these other builds that are planned, but this one's dear to my heart, and I want to start this one. And of course, with the coloring and everything like that, it's going to be brown and white. And then the skin parts are going to be flesh tone, like the feet and a little bit of the eyes. And then he's going to have a brown part and then a white eye, and I'm going to Dremel that back and the white little bits back, and then I'm going to Dremel all the lines. And of course, it's going to be flesh tone for the ears and for the mouth, for the feet, for the hands. And then I'm going to do the reverse image, and I got to figure that out yet. And it's going to be fairly simple. It's just going to be the back of his head and his fur and everything like that. And then this hand will be exposed proper, and this hand will be exposed a little bit. But I'm going to go with this exact bridge, this exact pickup. Probably could just do a volume. As far as the input jack, I'm thinking it's probably going to be, I'm not sure exactly where it's going to go. It could go back here somewhere. It all depends on when I cut it out and I cut the wood and where the position of the wood sits, and so it doesn't obstruct the input jack. But yeah, just wanted to share with you. That is just amazing. I think that's going to be very cool. And with the colors and everything like that, the brown, flesh tone, white, and then black. Of course, the black bits. And like I said, I'm going to recess the eye parts. That's the only two parts I'm going to recess. It's just the eyes. And I'm going to keep everything else level, so it's going to look really cool. I'm going to round and everything like that. And then when I do the wood filler, I'm going to try to kind of make it textured a little bit like the fur. So it's going to be very cool. But hope everybody's having a good holiday. And I'll be starting this one next day or two. Got some scrap piece of wood in the garage, and I think it'll be really good for this project. I'm going to have to glue different bits together. There's not a straight piece. I don't have full pieces out there. Instead of buying a whole new, I'm going to have to buy, a whole sheet of plywood for the 3/4 inch and for the half inch and 3/4 inch. But I'm going to say, I've got a bunch of pieces, and I'm going to glue them together over the next day or so. And we're going to make this, and we're going to cut it out. So I'm really excited to get this one started. I think it's going to be very cool. I'm starting to see that these type of guitars are like definitely my favorite ones to do. And like I said, I still got like 3 or 4 of these necks left, probably like 4 or 5 maybe. So this is going to be using this exact neck, not this neck. This neck is actually for the Lisa Simpson guitar, but that exact neck, it's exact. So yeah, so that's what we're looking at right there. So hope everybody has a good holiday, and we will see you when we start building this one. The Gizmo electric guitar build is going to be starting soon, and I'm so excited. All right, have a good night, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, season's greetings, and we will see you soon. Okay. Good morning. How's everybody doing on this chilly day in Central Florida? Merry Christmas to everybody. It's December 25th, 2022, and it's time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar. I've got some scrap wood that I've been piecing together in the garage, but in order to get an exact shape of what I need, I'm going to have to cut out the template. So I got my desk here, so we're going to got my good pair of scissors, and we're going to go ahead and cut out the template, and we'll see when we get that done. See you in a minute. All right, got the cut out, and it looks pretty awesome. All right, so let me take it in the garage and apply it to the wood that I have, and we'll see how we did. All right, we'll see you in a bit. All right, perfectly. I think we We attached the wood and connected. We glued some wood pieces together overnight, the super glue, and I think we actually got it right on. So that's pretty cool. All right, we can trace this out and cut out the top layer, and then we're gonna have to glue some wood together for the bottom layer. But as long as we get the top layer, I think we'll be good to go. All right, and I'm probably gonna want to sand this a little bit more first to make it more perfect, and figure out if what the wood is as far as strength and everything like that. So all right, let's see in a little bit. All right, been sanding on the top layer of wood. It's looking a lot better. And I'll perfect all this, of course. You know my methods. So got the wood pretty. I think it's pretty good. All right, so now we're gonna trace the cutout, the shape on the top piece, and then we'll work on the bottom piece next. But I just want to get the top piece cut first. So let me go ahead and put the template on there and then trace it out and be right back. All right, got the top layer pencil traced out of the shape, and this is going to be a very complicated cut, but I'm going to go ahead and take my time. I'm in the garage, got the scroll saw queued up, and we're just going to take our time, and as long as it takes, it takes. And then when I cut the bottom layer, I'm going to have to cut it as exact as possible as well to be able to match the two layers together. But all right, fingers crossed. We'll start to cut it out slowly, and we'll see how it goes. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, got the top layer cut out. Are you ready for the reveal? It's taken me quite a while, but took my time and made it perfect. Wow, check that out. It's so cool. And then I'll fill in, of course, any like imperfections with body filler. But I just wanted to show you how well it turned out. Yeah, all right, now the next step is I'm going to work on the bottom layer. It's going to be the 1/2 inch plywood. So let me find a good spot, and then we're going to have to get some pieces together to make that happen. So I'm going to get working on that, and we'll be right back. All right, got the bottom piece marked out, as you can see in pencil. And I've got a good side on the back, or the better side. I'll sand it and make it more perfect, of course, and then fill in all the body filler and Bondo. All right, so let me carefully cut this out, and this has to match the top piece, so gotta do it real careful. All right, let's see. All right, got both layers complete. Oh man, I tell you, that was a lot of work, but I think it's gonna pay off big time. All right, so let me get cleaned up my mess, and I'll update you a little bit more in a little bit. But yeah, all right, the body is cut out. Looks pretty good. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, one last quick update. Just wanted to show you the progress of today. Connected pieces of wood, but the body is cut, and it looks pretty awesome. Gotta say, that shape. And I put it in the lap. I'll have to show you that. And it fits right in between your two legs are right here. Your knees are right there, so it's perfect. And then your arm will go right through there. Let me swing the camera around and I'll show you. All right, back. Yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of time making sure every single one of these lines is going to get dremelled. I'm going to countersink the whites of the eyes and then the pupils of the eyes, the little shiny bits. But everything else is going to stay flush. And every line, I got some carbon paper. I'm going to do carbon paper this time, and then I'll transfer it over onto the wood. And then I'll Dremel very carefully each one of these little bits. So I can't wait to get to that. And can't wait till this thing actually has some paint on there. And I got to figure out the back side. So, but this will be it for today. I've been going at it, and it is Christmas. So, all right. So, hope everybody's having a happy holidays, and we will see you soon. All right. Let's see if I can get the camera in the angle. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And let's see if I can. All right, yeah. Your arm will go right here, and when you're playing, the bridge is right there. You see the bridge line, and yeah, let's see if I can get this better on camera. Yeah, but yeah, it fits right underneath, and it's right there, perfect. So when you're playing right there. It's perfect. So yeah. But alright. And let me get the camera back around. Good morning. How is everybody doing? It is the day after Christmas. And I thought I'd give the Gizmo electric guitar build some love today. Put in some body filler on the cracks. So this is just, I just brought out the top layer. I think for this particular build, because it's such an intricate design that's going to be carved into the top, I wanted all one uniform color. So what I did is I put in some body filler. It's had a day or so to harden. So I'm going to sand that smooth, and then I'm going to actually spray a few layers of the 2-in-1 primer just to give it a uniform appearance. That way when I trace over everything, it'll be a nice and uniform color, and it won't be this different color that could actually, you know, distract me from where I have to carve and everything. So let me sand this real smooth, get it looking pretty good, and then we'll go ahead and put some 2-in-1 primer on there. We'll see in a little bit. I thought I'd do things a little bit different on this build, since how there's going to be such a complex Dremel pattern, and you know, everything that needs to go onto the body. I want to have a blank slate when I get the carbon paper and I transfer the design over onto the wood on the front and the back. I prefer to have a clean slate. It's not going to be wood colored, but that's fine. It's going to be painted anyway, but yeah, I got some body filler, and I'm going to try to make it as perfect as possible. And that way when I transfer over all the lines and the designs for where I'm going to Dremel all the bits, it'll be perfect. So yeah, that's the school of thought on this one. But yeah, it's looking pretty good, the grapevine. I love that primer. This is the best stuff, the primer, 2-in-1 primer filler. So that's the best stuff, and it's already dry. You know, the first layer already dried. So letting the Bondo dry real quick. I'm going to sand it and spray some layers, and then it'll probably be the conclusion of this. But I'll show you progress after I get a little bit more done. All right, let's see in a little bit. All right, quick update. Got the top piece drying. I got some, you know, got it fairly smooth. It's not perfect, but you know, I just want just to be fairly close. That way I can start carving the Dremel bits for the shape. And I got the back piece nice and sanded flat, and I got some primer on that too. Alright, so next step is going to be let these set for, you know, a day or so, and then get the Dremel tool out, and then, you know, get the neck pocket and get the bridge going. You know, ordered all the parts for it, so I have to wait for some parts. And then I ordered some carbon paper, and I'll be transferring, you know, all the lines and everything with that, and that should be Thursday. So alright, and so it's just you know, not much done to these today, but you know, definitely improvement. That way when I go to apply the design, got like a blank slate to work with. Alright, and we will see you soon. Alright, good evening everybody. It is December 26, 2022, and it's time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar. Okay, so I've got the front cut out, and it turned out really well. And I worked on the body today. If you've seen on the earlier video, I've got the primer coats on the top and the bottom piece of wood. It looks amazing. It looks pretty awesome. I think that's crucial when I go to transfer all these lines onto the wood itself. I want a blank slate, and I don't want any confusion. That way when I go to Dremel it out, it'll look perfect. But I've got to figure out what the back of the instrument, back of the guitar is going to be, the back of Gizmo. So, and there are really, I'm going by reference pictures. I'm going to flip all over. I taped together 6 pieces of regular printer paper, and I turned over my original template that I cut out, and I'm going to take a pencil and carefully draw out the exact lines again for another template, but this is going to be for the reverse side of the guitar. And then I'm going to cut that out. And then I've got some reference pictures that I've been working with. I'm going to try to find some more, the actual back of Gizmo, you know, as far as, you know, where all the different lines are and everything. It's going to be fairly simplistic, but I'm going to have to figure out, because that's the original picture that I'm working with as far as the body of the guitar. So I'll have to figure that out, but let me go ahead and do this, trace this out, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, traced out the back side shape, and let me get my good scissors and cut it out, and we'll see in a little bit. Alright, actually before I cut it out, I went ahead and drew in the, I think this is going to work, this is going to be perfect. This is the back of the guitar, and the exposed hand on the right side, which you see a little nib right there, and then the his right hand, which you see his fingers right there, and his thumb. And then on the back, of course, this is going to be flesh color, and then brown. All this is going to be brown, this top spot. White right there, flesh color. This is going to be white, white, and with the flesh color. And I think that'll be fine. I think that looks good. You know, it's the back of the guitar, and it's not as fairly intricate as the front, but it definitely does what it needs to do. And then I'll color the nib for the neck plate brown. So that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's going to work. So let me go ahead and cut this out, and I'll see you when I get them both cut out. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, got the cut out. It looks pretty good. And this will be on the back, and then I'll Dremel every single line bit, and I'll transfer. I did order some carbon paper, but it's not going to be here until Thursday. So, but tomorrow I might go to Walmart and see if they have some more staples and get some and start working on it. And let me go in the other room, take these 2 copies, and then let me show you the back plates again. Alright, we'll see in a little bit. Or the wood pieces, the top and the bottom. Alright, we'll see in a bit. Alright, in the other room, I just wanted to show you how good the wood turned out. I leveled everything, sanded it really well, added some body filler, and now it's dry and it looks just amazing. Yeah, and that's going to be the perfect slate. What I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to get some carbon paper and I'm going to put it behind here, and I'm going to trace every single line onto the wood itself, and then take the X-Acto blade and Dremel everything. Like I said, I'm going to recess just the eyes and the shiny bits of the eyes. Everything else is going to stay flush. And this is the back piece, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. And then once I do all that, then I'll start to actually construct the guitar. I'll cut the neck pocket, I'll install the bridge, I'll cut out for the pickup cavity, I'll do all the wiring, I'll figure out where the input jack's gonna go, and then I'll glue the, Dremel out for all the wiring, and then glue the pieces together, and then do all the body filler on the sides, and then on then once I get all that good, then we'll do a sound test, string test, and then get everything going like that. And then we'll do the wood grain filler phase, and then we'll start applying the real primer after everything. And I'll try to texture with the wood grain, the fur, to kind of make it more bumpy and kind of 3D appearance. But yeah, it's turning out pretty well. I think it's going to be a really epic build. Can't wait to get this even further. But yeah, thought I'd do this different steps on this one because it's got so many intricate lines, to where some of the other guitars were fairly simplistic as far as that. So, alright. So hope everybody's having a good night, and we'll continue work with it tomorrow. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Can't wait to get this thing. Can't wait till it's finished. I mean, it's going to be amazing looking. So, alright. I hope everybody's having a good night. And this right here is just temporary if, certain bits are kind of set, but if it doesn't flow right, I'll change it. But I think once I get the flesh tones, and then the white and the brown, and it'll really kind of flow, and it'll be in the back of the guitar. So, alright. Have a good night, and we'll see you. Alright, back again. Actually, one quick modification. I did notice that the left foot there, I think you'll be able to see the toes in the back, so I just went ahead and added that real quick. I think that'll be a cool touch. Just as toes from the other side, so just minor little touches like that. And I'll tweak it, of course, but okay, we'll see you later. Good morning, everybody. It is December 28th actually, 2022. Time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar. What we've been waiting for from Amazon has finally come. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Might not be able to, but alright. Waiting on this to continue the process. Let me get it out and we'll see in a second. Alright, got some old school carbon paper. and it's time to transfer the design for the Gizmo guitar on the front and back. So let's take it to the other room and we'll see you inside. Alright, we are ready to trace the design of the paper cutout onto the wood blank. And I've got a fresh X-Acto blade to carve. I'm going to use black, a thin point pen, that way I know where I've been. And then get some carbon paper going and we'll be right back. Alright, traced it with the the carbon paper. Alright, ready for the reveal. Hopefully all my lines went through. Yeah, and the pen dripped a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. Awesome. Alright, looks like all the marks took. Pretty awesome. Paint marks, but I'll be able to use the X-Acto blade, so. Alright, awesome. Alright, next step is going to be to get my fresh X-Acto blade and trace over all these lines. That way the Dremel tool has something to go by. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Alright, successful use of the carbon paper. I'm glad I went in yesterday for like 2 hours trying to find it locally. I'm glad I waited because the only option was a $25 pack of 100, and it looks like I'm only going to need maybe 4 sheets total for this whole thing. But, you know, I'll use it for future projects. But alright, let me get the X-Acto blade and start carving away, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, move the operation outside, and I already started to X-Acto blade a few of the spots. This is what I'm going for, and I'm going to get the Dremel tool out, and then I'm going to make grooves in there. But yeah, just wanted to show you outside, you can see a little better. Alright, it's going to be a long process, but it's going to be so worth it. This is the most in-depth of one that I've done so far, but I think it's just going to be just amazing. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, since how it's so involved, I figured I'd do it in sections. So right now I've got the Dremel, or not the Dremel, but the X-Acto blade, the mouth, and this side of the face. So let me go ahead and Dremel it. I'm using the pointer Dremel bit there, and I'm going at a certain depth, and I've noted the depth. And we're going to go ahead and make a line on all the lines I just Dremeled out. Alright, fingers crossed, wish me luck. We'll see you in a little bit. Alright, making progress on the head bit. As you can see, I've got the head part done. Well, I'm still going to tweak a little bit some of these lines and make certain ones a little bit deeper here and there. But and then, like I said, I Dremeled out the eye bits, the shiny bits, and then the whites of the eyes. So give it more of a 3D appearance when the wood grain filler goes over the body. But yeah, it's looking pretty killer. That's awesome. Alright, so let me continue work on the rest of it, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, another quick update. Wow, it's coming along pretty good. Got the Dremel bits. That's looking amazing. I'm so glad I did the body filler and the primer before I did this. That way it's going to be awesome. And when I do the wood grain filler over the top and then try to texture some of the hair and everything like that, it's going to be really knock it out. So alright, so yeah, I think I'm going to do some painting, take a break from this for a little while, and put some base coats on some other projects we got going on. So just wanted to show you how it looks. Looks pretty killer. It's coming to life. Good old Gizmo. Hey Gizmo. You can almost see him like he's looking. I think he's gonna pop out of there any second now. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Actually, one more step on the Gizmo guitar. I'm gonna actually do the carbon tracings on the back piece of wood, but I'm not gonna carve it until after both pieces are glued together. I'm gonna do this after, more or less before the actual primer paint and ugly face part 2, just for the simple fact that this wood's a little bit thinner, and I don't want to compromise any of the integrity of the wood itself by carving into it. Now when it's all glued together, that'll be fine, but let me just get the carbon and trace it over, you know, trace over a big design onto the back, and then we should be good. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, got it carved or traced out and looking pretty cool. All right, and I'll finish with the carvings and everything later on in this process. So all right, and we'll see you in a little bit. Good morning, everybody. It is January 30th, 2022, last few days of the year. And it's time again to work on the Gizmo electric guitar. Yeah, got some parts in the mail. Got one of my fixed bridges that I like to use. And we got to pick out a neck. The plan for today, the thoughts, try to get as far as possible. It's about 10 a.m. And then we got some rain coming in this afternoon, and usually it gets dark around 5 o'clock this time of year, so we've got a few hours to work on it. I want to install the neck. First I want to temporarily put the guitars, pieces together, install the neck, install the bridge, maybe cut out for the pickup opening, figure out where the input jack is going to be and get that worked out. It's going to be kind of interesting because, the jagged edges along the side. And I don't know, we'll figure that out. But then figure out, we're going to use the chrome humbucker pickup that I like to use. I ordered a specially hot one, 27 ohm. It's actually pretty hot. Or 17 ohm, I'm sorry, 17 point something ohm. The hottest one I had before, 15.6. So get as far as we can, figure out the location for the volume knob. I'm just going to do one volume knob because of the shape of it. There's not a lot of room for things. I ordered the paint. I ordered everything else I need, so we're going to wait on that, but we've got to figure out a neck for it. I've got my neck stash over here, and when I receive the necks, I like to write on there what shape that they came in, because, sometimes, there'd be dings, whatever. This one is perfect, and received on the 15th of November 2022. So let's see what else we got. We got a perfect neck. This is the neck for the Lisa Simpson guitar, so that's already spoken for. We got here. Okay, we've got 2 places, dings in the back of the neck. Okay, so it wouldn't be too bad. That could be one that could be sanded and painted. So let's stick that one to the side for now. This one, what did I write on here? Okay. I don't remember what that symbol meant, but okay. Damage end of the fretboard. Not fixable. End of the fretboard, not fixable. I mean, I probably meant fixable, not fixable. So it's just got like a little rosewood that's damaged. If it was not fixable, I would have sent it back. So I probably read that or miswrote that. So I might have wrote that because they sent me 2 replacements just for that. So let's go with this one. I don't know what it doesn't have any. It says 4-1 on it. So all right, so that's going to be our winner for these necks. And all these necks in these boxes are pretty much the same as the Lisa Simpson guitar neck. They're basically this. They're the exact same neck. Got them from the same people. So all right, so let me figure that out. And then we're going to move everything outside, get all my parts, tools, and everything, and we'll see when I get all that done. All right, see. All right, we are moved outside the operation. Got all my tools. Time to make a big old mess. Okay, so I guess the first thing to do, let me get the cutout out. And sorry about the dogs barking. They seem to love to come out here as soon as I'm out here beginning to do stuff. So let me figure out exactly where initially I planned where the bridge is going to go, and we'll see in a second. Alright, I'll use for the carbon paper. I actually got the carbon paper and traced out from the template where initially I planned the neck to go and the bridge line, intonation line. So alright, so let me get the neck out, inspect the neck. It's in the, unbox it, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll be right back. Alright, got the neck out, inspected it, and it's looking pretty good. I can't find any flaws or dents. It's got a real good sealed back, and I like this choice of this neck for this project because of the color. Color is very cool looking. I like that color. Alright, so let me go apply it to the body and see where we're at. Alright, draw out where I want the neck to go, and I think this is going to be good. I think it's going to have good access to everything, and it's positioned, and I readjusted the bridge line, and it looks pretty good. It looks like right centered where it needs to be. It's going to be pretty awesome. So let me go ahead and trim up the bits. I think I might connect the 2 pieces of wood together, temporarily, like I always do first, and then I'll have to take it apart when I cut the neck tendon. But yeah, let me figure that out. I'll be right back. Alright, got the scroll saw queued up, and I got the tendon marked out exactly where I want to cut it. So just on the top piece, I decided not to join them just yet, but on the top piece I'll go ahead and cut out the neck tendon very carefully. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, got the neck tendon cut out, and I think I like the spaciness, you know, the words spaced and the bridge line I drew. So I'm going to get out the bridge and do a string test and see where we are and see how we're going to have to cut the neck tendon, and we'll be right back. Alright, got the bridge set on the intonation line. I did a string test, I did my strings, and I figured I probably need a tendon about that thick or so. So let me go ahead and cut that piece the proper tendon size, that way we can get it to the proper height, and we'll see in a little bit. Alright, just been sanding on the neck tendon, and I think I got the proper size I need, that piece right there. Let me show you the neck tendon itself. Ooh, I don't want to ding up this neck. Yeah, go with that thickness this time around, because I think that'll be the perfect thickness. And I want to have a little bit of girth here, because it's going to have the neck plate attaching to the neck, and that's going to be the strength. So alright, so let me go ahead and glue that tendon in. I'll be right back. Alright, got the neck tendon dialed in perfectly, and it's glued in place, so it's pretty good. And we got plenty of girth here, so I got to worry about the neck being supported, so that's going to be perfect, and it sits perfectly on top and everything. So alright, so the next step is going to be to actually join the two pieces together temporarily, like I like to do. And I'm thinking about putting a screw right here, because it's out of the way of anything important. Probably right here will be a good spot for a screw, and then maybe over here, because there's like nothing. And I think those three will be good enough to anchor it in place. I don't want to put any over here. And I was thinking about the input jack. I'm going to make a custom metal plate, and it's going to be right there. It's going to be kind of tight, but I think that's the best spot, because your knees kind of rest here and here, and that'd be cool to have the input jack right there. So alright, let me get the drill out and then temporarily fasten these two pieces together. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Alright, got both pieces temporarily screwed in, looking pretty good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is get the neck back out, and I'm going to make the neck tendon perfect, and I'm going to trim where I need to, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, got the neck tendon perfectly cut and shaped, and it's looking pretty good. I'll probably file it a little bit, but next step is going to be to install the neck. So I got my neck plate, and we're going to go ahead and screw in the neck. Alright, we'll see in a little bit. I put a little Bondo in the neck pocket just to dial it in perfect. That way when I install it and then I install the bridge, it lines up exactly where I want it to, and it's perfect. There's no wiggle room. The neck doesn't have anywhere else to go but where it should be, so that'd be perfect. So alright, we're going to let this harden, and we're going to go ahead and install the neck. I've got my drill bit with my marker to the correct point. I've got a pointer tool, that way I can, the holes before I drill them so the bit doesn't wander. But we're going to go ahead and get the neck installed and see how it goes. And then while I got the pieces together, I can always trim the two pieces. I couldn't cut both pieces at the same time this time because, the way it was worked out. So, but I can go ahead and trim it with the Dremel and with the scroll saw to make it perfect. So yeah, but it's looking pretty good so far. And it doesn't weigh that much. It weighs enough. It's not going to be any neck dive by no means. I'm guessing about 6.5, 7 pounds, maybe. So it's perfect. So, all right, let me get that dialed in, and we'll be back in a sec. All right, got the neck installed. Looks pretty good. It does ride a little bit higher than normal because its body, I think, is a little bit thinner, but that's fine as far as the depth. But I needed a little bit more, meat on the tendon there, because I don't want to have any stability issues. But it looks pretty killer. It looks. Let's see if I can get it in frame. It does look amazing. That's cool. A Yoda guitar would be cool too, wouldn't it? Like Yoda, full-bodied Yoda. That'd be cool. Yeah, add it to the list, right? But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Let's hang it on the hanger, see how it looks. There you go. Very cool. Adjust the hanger a bit. There we go. It looks cool. All right, let's put it the other way. That way we can see it better in the light, but see the back too. There you go. That looks cool. It's pretty sweet. And I'll turn the camera around and show you how it sits in the lap. It sits in the lap pretty killer. And you can, there's both ways you can play it. You can have your arm over the ear or arm behind the ear. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Alright, let me turn the camera around and I'll show you how it sits in the lap with the neck installed. Alright, we'll see you in a second. Alright, let me show you how it sits in the lap. Let's see if I get the camera a little closer. Sorry. There we go. That'll work. Yeah. And see your knees like fit right through there. Let me show you. Yeah. See the knees, like I showed you in the earlier video, fit right there. So I'm thinking the input jack probably be right there, because it's, can't really see where I'm filming, but yeah, it fits well. And when you're playing, you could either go this way, very comfortable underneath, or you can go up top. Either way, it's very comfortable. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So alright, let me turn the camera around, see you in a second. Alright, next step is going to be to set the bridge, install the bridge. And you know, my favorite, I got a little bit of a wider one this time. I think it's 65 millimeter wide. And I lined it up on my insulation line and then my neck lines. So roughly there. And I'm already doing a string test, and you can see I backed the saddle all the way up, and that's good because when the neck settles, it tends to pitch forward, and then there'll be plenty of room in the saddle. And if it's too high, I could always either, you know, when I go to do the string test, and then, you know, steps later on after I get everything done, then I could either shim the neck this side and fill it in with body filler, or I can actually sand down the neck. But since how it's treated, I don't think I would do that. I think I would just opt to, you know, shim it on the back. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So let me get the neck situated where I want it, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, got my proper bit with my mark on there, and then I've got my pointer tool, and I tap the holes, the 5 holes on this bridge. So let me go ahead and drill out the screws and install the bridge, and I'll be right back. Alright, bridge installed, and I did all my measurements, I did my string test, and we are good to go. We're right in the ballpark with everything. It should be perfect. Alright, let me get the pickup, and then we're going to mark out where the pickup cavity is going. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we got the pickup out. This is the pickup I'm going to use. It's got coil split capabilities, but we're not going to use that with this guitar because I don't think the body's thick enough actually to allow for the push-pull pot. We're going to have to use a regular pedometer, and this is just a mock-up volume knob that I'm going to use. It's not, you know, I've got the chrome one. It's just in the house, and I've got this here. So I'm guessing like right there for the volume knob. And then, like I said earlier, I'm probably going to go with the input right here on the foot. Maybe like, you know, center to the foot, like right there. So I went ahead and marked where the pickup is, and right there underneath in pencil, and I'll get, you know, I'll separate the layers, and then I'm guessing like right there. I'll have to swing it around again and see where your hand kind of rests, because I don't want it too close like a Strat volume knob to where, you know, your hand's always bumping it when you're playing it. I want this to be comfortable and, you know, not have to worry about that. For me personally, that's what I have a problem with. But all right, so let me go knock that out. I think that should be good right there, the volume knob. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, volume knob's in a perfect spot right there. So when you're playing the guitar, it's close enough so you can reach it very quickly if you want to do any kind of volume swells or whatever. But as far as it's not too close to where your hand's bumping it. So I marked an X. So I got my long drill bit, and then while I got everything attached, I'm going to go ahead and drill all the way through both pieces. So we'll see in a second. Alright, got the hole drilled through both pieces, and now I'm going to dismantle everything, and we're going to make some pilot holes, and we're going to get the scroll saw back up here, and then we're going to cut out where the pickup's going to go. Alright, we'll see in a second. Alright, got everything disassembled, got the top layer here just by itself, the bottom layer's over there, and we're going to go ahead and drill some pilot holes with the bigger drill bit. And then we're going to get the scroll saw going, and we're going to cut out the opening for the pickup. All right, we'll see when we get that done. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, successful cutout for the pickup cavity. Pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty awesome. All right. Next thing in B is turn around and start figuring out where all the wiring is going to go. Gonna have to figure out the input jack situation. It's starting to cloud up. We're supposed to get rain today. So I don't know how much more time I got, but I'll try to push and try to get as far as we can today. So, all right, we'll see you in a sec. All right, real quick, I went ahead and drilled the hole for the ground for the bridge, and it came out in the exact right spot. So I did that first. All right, so let's flip it over and figure out the wiring. See you in a second. All right, actually it's a very simplistic wiring on this one. It's going to be very simple indeed. The ground's coming through here. The pickup wire is just coming through here to the pedometer and then straight to the input jack. That's it. Pretty simple. Not much to it. Bada boom, bada bing. So I'll get the Dremel tool out. I'll get my pedometer and then we'll go ahead and knock this out. We'll route this out real quick. We might even get to the glue phase today. Wow, it's sun's actually poking through over there. Wow. So, and it's only like actually 1:30, so it's fairly early. So we've got a lot done, and we could still get a lot done today. All right, we'll see in a little bit. All right, just like that, the wiring is completed. I even did the back access panel plate or access panel opening. So pretty simple. Just from the wiring, it'll be from the pickup and the ground to the pedometer to the input jack, and then on the other side, just the opening. And I did all the courtesy cuts and such, and I checked to make sure that the openings were wide enough and the wires can easily fit through, but it's a very simplistic. So yeah, so the wire for the ground, like I said, and then the pedometer, and then there we go. And then let me show you, I opened up for the input jack, and this is the input jack that I'm going with this time, similar to the Lisa Simpson guitar build. And let me show you. We do this one-handed, and it'll fit just like that, similar like that, and then I'll bend it to fit in place. So that'll be pretty cool. So I think we're ready for the glue phase before the rain. The rain's definitely coming. It's definitely clouding up. I mean, it was cloudy from before, but let me show you. These clouds look a little bit more obvious, or you know, whatever. See how they're moving? Let me see if you can see the clouds moving. Yeah, these ones look like they definitely have more water in them. So yeah, I think we're ready for the glue phase. So let me look at everything really well, get the blower out and blow everything real good, and then we can get these glued together, and then maybe finish up today. We can actually, once it's glued, we can go ahead and trim any of the excess, you know, between the discrepancies between the two layers. So yeah, we got a lot done today so far, so we're good to go. All right, so let me get that done and we'll. All right, I've blown everything off and we are ready for the glue phase. So I'm going to go ahead and glue both pieces together and have a solid piece, and I'll see you when that gets done. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, successful glue phase. We are one piece of wood and it's looking good. Everything went well. Everything is good to go. All right, before we now that next step, while we still can, before the rain moves in, I'm gonna go ahead and try to trim up some of the bits that were hanging from, you know, the two pieces not being exactly the same. Well, I just felt a drop. I don't know if we got time. We'll try to get as much done because I want to get inside and do some body filler. All right, we'll see. All right, quick update. We totally got rained out. Got a ton done today, though. I was able to trim off some, but not all. You can see there's still a couple spots, but I could do that with a Dremel. And, you know, if I need to get the scroll saw back out. But yeah, we're good to go. We're one solid body. All the wiring done. Everything looks pretty awesome. Yeah. And the input jack. I'm trying to think if that was the good spot. I think that was a good spot. So input jack, pick up, bridge, everything. Okay, we're good to go, and we're glued together. We're a solid piece. So we can start putting the Bondo body filler once I get all the bits perfectly aligned, because you can see like there's still a couple spots that aren't perfectly flush with each other, just because I had to cut the two pieces separate, of course, but you know, it's so worth it. So, all right, hope everybody's having a good Friday weekend. We're at the end of the week. We made it. So let's conclude today's progress on the Gizmo electric guitar build. I was able to unscathed, got everything in the house. I mean, yeah, got a few drops on the old poor the paper cutout, but we'll live. So we're good to go. As you can see, it's coming down pretty hard out there now. Let's see if I can poke out the window. Yeah, woo! Look at that. Man, it started pouring, but I expected it, like I said. All right, and we will see you tomorrow to continue on one of these three. Or how we might even start a brand new one. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we'll see you soon. Real quick, I don't know if I did the full spin. I know I took some pictures, but let's see if we do the full spin real quick. Yeah, very 3D, very cool. I love that. That is just, you know, I get lucky that way. I mean, it's just, wow. Yep. Yeah, look at that. All right. And then I'll carve and Dremel the back bits, all the contour lines, of course. But all right, all right. We will see you tomorrow. All right, take it easy. Good morning, everybody. December 31st, 2022. On this very cloudy, soggy day. It rained all night, but it's supposed to clear up. So, gonna continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar build, and time to do a little. Get all the body filler that I put along the sides nice and pretty. So get working on that. Got my files, got my tools. Yeah, so we'll see you guys when I show you how it looks now. It looks very rough, very ugly. But we're gonna change all that and make it pretty. We'll see in a little bit. All right, ugly phase part 1 is complete, and she is looking awesome. Wow, check that out. Gizmo. Yeah, look at that. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, I got hit with some rain, but I worked through it. I got an umbrella. I stood under the umbrellas, filing, sanding away. But yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so the next step is going to be to actually get some carbon paper and retrace the back, because I've been sanding and whatever, and I kind of skewed some of the lines. And then we'll get the X-Acto blade out. What we got left to do before the ugly face part 2, get the X-Acto blade, Dremel all the bits, make a custom access panel plate cover, just a smaller circle, and then countersink that, and then I think we'd be ready for a full-on string test. And then we can, install the neck, install the string trees, put some strings on there, install the bridge back, and then see how it sounds, or see if all the measurements and intonation, everything is right, and then we can go to the ugly face part 2. But we're moving right along. All right, and usually on Saturdays I've got domestic stuff I take care of. I go help clean hall, and so we'll work it's about 10 o'clock now. Work for another couple hours today, and then gonna visit with some friends later. But all right, and we will see when I start getting a little progress on this. All right, I retraced the back design, and I altered it a little bit to accommodate for the access panel plate. So all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a new blade on my X-Acto blade, and then Dremel, score all the lines, and then go ahead and get the Dremel out, and then Dremel it like I did the front. All right, we'll see in a little bit. Alright, I traced, Dremeled, and sanded all the back bits, and it looks pretty killer. Let's see if I can see an angle. It's kind of hard to see a little bit, but yeah, turned out really cool. Alright, so now I'm going to see the continuity between the front and the back. I know there's like certain spots where like the foot and then the white, so let me figure all that out, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. We'll see in a second. Alright, took care of any continuity issues. Let me explain what I mean by continuity. Alright, when it comes to painting, as you know, it's going to be flesh color for the feet, and for the fingers it's going to be white for the truffles around there. This is going to be a flesh color. That's part of his hand. Flesh tone around the eyes, flesh tone for the ears. It's going to be brown with a white patch there. Brown, white patch, white on the stomach, brown here, just a little bit of brown there. Brown for the, the little bits before that. And on the back, it's going to be brown all through here, and then brown all in this section. This is going to be white, flesh tone color, flesh tone color, flesh tone color. And the continuity is, okay, so when you match up the front and the back, they have, when you go to paint, they have to match. Like see how these two toes are exposed from the back, and I added that little bit. So the foot is exposed from the front. So I added a line there, and then I added a line, for the toe connection for both sides, because the other toe's connected, and then added a line there. And then here's another example, like there's the part of the foot right there, and see I added a line there and add a line there, and that connects to that little bit up front. And even stuff like the different colors, like the flesh tone color, I need to add a line there. See, I missed one. From where the flesh tone hook up, we'll see it's different from there. So maybe I'll put it like this one. Well, I'll figure that one out. But you see what I'm getting at. The like I added a line. Oh, see, I've got to add. Oh, I missed one there too. Got to add a line here from where the flesh tone bits connect. Instead of just doing a, I like to add a line there, a countersunk line, like I did on this side. See on this side, that way it distinguishes between the two colors. So yeah, I didn't get them all. I missed a couple, but yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about. And see on this side, let me show you something kind of cool. Now see how the white bit, and then this is a brown bit. And see how I connected the two. I made a jagged line. So this is going to be brown, because this is brown from the top. But the little white section is jagged right there. I know it's kind of hard to see. But see how the white, I made a little jagged. So that's going to be white. So, and then this is connected right here from the flesh color from the toes. So just continuity like that. And same thing on the front. The continuity of what's going to be brown and what's going to be white, I want to make sure that they're connected. Like I forgot to do that line there, and I checked, and that's a little brown. So it's just stuff like that. So when you paint, it's all on the same plane. So anyway, I know that's just minor stuff, but that's just me thinking. All right, let me do that, knock that other thing out, and then we're going to work on the back access panel plate. I've got the pickguard material, I've got a shape that I want to use, and we'll do that in a sec. All right, see you in a bit. Alright, found a shape that I was good with, size-wise, just circular. So I got the scroll saw out, so let me cut that, and we'll be right back. Alright, successful cutout of the back cover plate. We made a small one, but I didn't want it too big, because I had a pre-made one, so that's going to fit perfect. And I'll probably use 3 small screws to hold it in place. But yeah, let me trace it out. X-Acto blade, the tracing with the pencil, and then I'll countersink it, and I'll see you when I do all that. I'll be right back. Alright, got the X-Acto on the marking, got my Dremel bit to proper depth. We're going to go ahead and countersink, and then we'll put some holes, and then we'll actually install it, and we'll see in a little bit. Alright, perfect. Just wanted to show you. I got the pickguard material, still got the scratch plate on there. I don't think I'm going to paint it because it's in a white section, so that'll be fine. So it'll be shiny, but see how I countersunk the screws, and it'll fit perfectly with the screws that I chose. So I'm going to go ahead and install it, and I'll be right back. Alright, went ahead and installed, and it looks perfect. I love it. I like the small shape, and I made sure I put the screws not in the places where the route was for the wires, because that'd be bad. So I just wanted to show you how it's countersunk. Alright, I've got some domestic stuff to take care of, so I'm going to clean up my mess and go do that, but we're ready for a full-on string test. So go over it a little bit here, make sure I did everything, make sure everything looks pretty good, and then I'll perfect all the the Dremel bits on the body when I go to do the ugly face part 2, the wood grain face. But yeah, turned out really good. Still gotta blow it. There's some debris in some of the channels, but yeah, looks pretty good. All right, and if I just post this one and then post the the string test on a separate post, that'll be fine. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend, and we will see you soon. All right, take it easy. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing on this fine January 1st, 2023? Wow, first days of the year. All right, it's a little bit chilly. Feels good. It's been in the 60s. Fairly sunny day here in Central Florida, and it's time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar build. We are ready to get it going for a full-on string test this morning. So, got all my parts, got all my tools. Let's get some strings on this guitar and see how it goes. Alright, so first step is going to be to install the bridge. So let me go ahead and get that out and get that installed, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, perfect installation. Looks pretty good. Alright, now it's time to get the neck out and install the tuning keys. I'm probably going to have to bore out like I did on the other necks and get that situated, and we'll see when get that going. Alright, got the tuning keys installed. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and install the neck onto the body. We'll see when they get that done. Alright, got the neck installed. It looks pretty killer. Now it's time to put some strings on here and see what we got. I'm going to put the 2 E strings on first, and we'll see. I'll see after I put that on. Alright, we'll see in a sec. Alright, got the 2 E strings on, looking dead center, so it looks pretty good. Alright, put the rest of the strings on. Be back in a sec. Alright, went ahead and put the strings on there, and I got it tuned up somewhat, and it sounds pretty decent. It looks pretty awesome. Alright, let me go ahead and get the string trees installed. That way we get some stability in the tuning, and I will be right back. But yeah, I think it's all lined up pretty good, and I think we're good on the saddles. I think once the neck shifts and pulls slightly forward, I have plenty of room for adjustment, so it's pretty killer and looks pretty awesome. Strap buttons are going to be a little tricky on this one, definitely behind the neck plate like always, but I was thinking maybe right there would be a strap button location, but we'll see. All right, let me get the string trees installed and we'll be right back. All right, just like that, perfectly installed the string trees. All right, so let's get these strings to pitch and get a good tune, and we'll see where we're at. All right, we'll see in a second. I got the strings up to pitch. It's a little hard to hear. The tuner's not really picking up the higher register, so I'll have to go inside and do the full sound test, but I'll give you a basic sound in a second. But first I want to go with the strap buttons. So let's see. Let's go ahead and install the strap buttons while we're outside. And as always, I'm guessing I'm gonna put one second, let me get everything adjusted right. Okay, as always, I assume that I'm going to put one right in the center of the neck plate, and then I'm thinking about doing it right there. So let me go ahead. That's going to be my first guess. What do you think? I think it's going to be hanging perfect with no neck dive and strapping where it needs to be. Got my strap out. So let's go ahead and install the strap buttons, and fingers crossed. We'll see you in a sec. Hey, it's me. I installed strap buttons, and what are your thoughts? Do you think I put it in the correct spots? Obviously, I've got the guitar on. You see the strap right here. I've got a hand on the camera and a hand here, so you know it's not going anywhere crazy. And ready for the reveal? And see if I can do this without getting in the way. Bam! Yeah, hangs perfectly right there, and your hand goes over. That's cool. Strap button installation successful. Alright, so let me turn the camera back around and let me give you just a little bit of a sound test. I mean, the strings are a little out of tune, of course, because you know these are really crappy strings like I always like to use, because you know I got a whole bunch of them. So alright, let me turn around. I'll be right back. Alright, let's see if I can get the camera in a good spot. I don't think the sun's gonna interfere with it today. Alright, and see, that's where it hangs. It's a pretty good hang. balanced well. I like the way it feels. It's perfectly on the strap, and it's. And I was thinking that you can go through here and play, but I don't really think that's really practical when you're holding it standing up. But I think definitely your arm is over. It's completely comfortable. This real thin body. Could have put a comfort cut, but I wanted to keep the continuity of the design on the back. So I want to show you outside real quick. Successful. And we'll take it inside and we'll get a better sound, because I wasn't able to intonate and get a good tune because the tuner's not picking up higher registers. It's pretty cool though. Let me clean up my mess, take it inside, and do a full-on sound demonstration of how it sounds inside. And then we're ready for dismantling and starting with the ugly face. Start working on the finish and I'm gonna texture the finish with the fur and get it to look, pretty cool. I've got all the courtesy cuts and all the continuity cuts, so it's gonna be pretty killer. I can't wait to get some paint on here. But all right, so we'll see you in a little bit when I get everything cleaned up. See you inside. All right, got it intonated, got it in tune somewhat. These strings keep stretching and stretching and stretching. They're really bad strings, but I'll try to give you just a kind of a brief sound. Hear how it was in tune a second ago. Let me tune it up again real quick, one second. All right, got it tuned up again. Let's see, actually sit and get some sounds. I think it's going to be really resonant. I really dig the way that shape. It's very so unique. Just give some basic chords, because fretboard feels pretty good. The frets don't feel. I haven't really run into any bad frets yet. Yeah, strings keep stretching out pretty good. But I like it. It's definitely different, and definitely the way to play it is with your arm over the ear. When it's finished, I'll get to dial it in. Let me adjust the camera. Dial in the pickup and the intonation and everything like that. I'm fairly close and we're good to go, but I really couldn't. This tuner, I've got two of the Sabine type tuners, audible tuners, and they just don't pick up that well, even though they do, but they don't really, you can't really fully intonate the way I want. I've tried an app on the Microsoft Store and an app with the strobe tuner, and that didn't really work that well either. So, but just see how it plays and how it fits with the strap and in the lap. So see, these strings are stretching real good, so definitely going out of tune. And you can reach. I'm thinking about doing that front of the headstock brown with white logo, and then maybe doing like a Gizmo on the frets. So that'd be kind of neat. Yeah, but it's hard to get a really kind of accurate sound test. The strings being so bad, they're gonna just stretch infinitely, and it's so if it sounds a little out of tune, just bear with me. Anyway, okay. So next step is going to be to dismantle it and start on the ugly phase part 2 and get everything dialed in, get the body filler on there and make it look real awesome. But yeah, I think it turned out really killer from piecing together that scrap wood in the garage to where it is now. It's come definitely a long way. So alright, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Yeah, I'll still show you the next step when I go ahead and dismantle it and then start putting the body filler on it and everything. But yeah, it turns looking pretty cool so far. So alright, hope everybody's having a good start of the year, and we'll see you one second when I get over there. Alright, got everything dismantled, and it is time for the ugly phase part 2. And as always, I'm going to mix up a batch of the plastic wood filler. I'm going to dilute it with some water. And I think I'm going to start on the front and the sides and the front, start layering some textured type wood filler. I'm going to try to put a little texture in the wood grain, in the fur, and make it look really cool, and then make the bits that are, flat, like the mouth, the eyes, the feet. But the fur, and then the ear parts, I'm going to try to texture the fur and make it 3D-ish. All right, we'll see when I get a few layers on there. Alright, quick update. It's looking good. I got the first layers of body filler, the wood grain filler on there. And I made a decision, and I think this is going to be really cool. Okay, this is fur, so I prefer it to be textured like that. So when I put the body filler, or the wood grain filler, I put it in a way that was fur-like, the best of my ability. And I didn't put any on the skin parts, or because I'm not going to go any more paint primer on there. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to spray paint the flat bits, like the foot, the feet, the hands, the mouth, the eye bits, and all that. I'm going to go ahead and spray flesh tone color, which is going to be the flesh tone color that I have. And I'm going to spray that, and then I'm going to brush on all the rest of the colors. So it's going to be textured. I did the side with the wood grain filler, and I did hit the wood grain filler on the sides here just because, but I'm going to sand that part, but I'm not going to sand anything else. I'm just going to sand the exposed parts, like of the flat parts, to make them as flat as possible. But I'm not going to sand the textured parts, because it's going to be really cool. And when I put the 2K clear coat over everything, I think it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to try to I'm not going to sand the fur bits on the side either, because I want it to be textured like that. But like I said, when I put the 2K clear coat over it, it's going to flatten it out a little bit, but not to the point where it's going to lose the effect. So I'm going to do this on the front and back. So when this dries, I can actually go straight to color on the, you know, after I sand it and everything and make it perfect. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. I can't wait for you to see it. So just kind of on the fly, you make these decisions. But I'm going to try to get like the ear parts and any of the, you know, I'm going to sand that as usual flat and try to get that as perfect as possible. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to put a few more layers. You know, I'm going to try to make it more fur-like as possible. So and I'm going to look at some pictures of fur and see like orientation of fur and everything like that. But I think it's going to be really cool. And I got the paint today. So I got the brown, the white, got the yellow for the Lisa Simpson guitar, and then I got the flesh tone and everything like that. So it's going to be really cool. All right, we'll see you in a little bit when I get a couple more layers. All right, put another layer on there, and it's looking awesome. One second. Awesome. All right, I think that's going to be it for the wood grain filler. I'm glad I did the you know, the sanding and the wood grain filler and the primer prior to the actual construction, because I think that ties into everything. So we'll let this dry and then flip it over and then do the same thing to the back, and then we'll let it dry overnight, and then in the morning I'll sand all the skin, you know, parts, the smooth parts, because the skin is going to be the smooth on the sides. And then we'll be ready for some base coats of flesh tone color. So I'm going to use the same color that I used on the Popeye flesh tones. So it's going to be really cool. And so it's going to be flesh tones on the side, you know, the whole ear and all the continuity parts. So good morning, everybody. December 2nd, 2022. Time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar. You know, I was looking at it yesterday, and I think the brush stroke should be enough. So I'm going to sand this pretty much smooth, but I'm going to sand all the sides smooth as well. I think as far as texturing it, see, I started that yesterday a little bit, just sanding it. I think I'd like it better if it was pretty much flat. I mean, when I'm going to brush paint the white and the brown, so I'm still going to do the spray paint for the flesh tones, but I'm going to put some primer over this before that. But I think this looks better if it's not textured like that per se. But all right, so we'll see when I get some sanding done. All right, a couple hours later, we are sanded smooth and ready for the hanger and ready for some more primer coats. It turned out really good. Just wanted to show you how good it looks before I put the primer coats. And try to beat any kind of rain. It's definitely damp, cloudy outside. But yeah, it's looking awesome. Let me flip it over. Yeah, I'm glad I did the wood grain filler, because it filled in the wood grain, so it should be perfectly flat. So that looks awesome. All right, let me put it on the hanger and blow it some more and prepare it for some more primer coats. All right, we'll see in a little bit. All right, we got it on the hanger, looking pretty good, well blown off, and we're ready for some primer coats. So let me put a little bit of primer on there. I only got like a half can, so I might have to put another round of primer on here, but that'll be fine. Make it smooth and perfect. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, successful application of the primer. Second round of primer. And wow, it's looking good. It turned out really well. And I'll flip it over. It's still drying a little bit, but I'll turn it around so the light hits it. I'll grab it and then show it in the light. Let me go ahead and grab it. Make sure there's nothing in my way. It wouldn't fall over or anything. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. Ready, go. And we'll let this dry for a day or two. This primer's pretty good, pretty fast drying, and I'll probably take some pictures in the room there. But yeah, turned out pretty killer. And then we'll be ready for some base coats of flesh tones. We'll do the flesh tones first. So, all right, pretty killer. All right, let me hang this outside for a while and let it air out a little bit so it's not too stinky. All right, and we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, got the hanger in the house. I wanted to show you how flat and perfect it turned out. Yeah, that's awesome. That's 2 layers of, actually 3 ugly phases all together, but yeah, it's flat and looking perfect. So, alright, like I said, so we'll let this set for a day or two, and then we'll start with some base colors, but yeah, it looks pretty killer. I'm gonna go to Walmart today and get some more paint. I need some more silver. I got the paint for Lisa, so we got 3 waiting for paint, but I got fretwork to do and some other stuff to do, so. Alright, hope everybody's having a good day. And we will continue with this one next couple days. But we'll see you soon. Alright, take it easy. Good afternoon, everyone. It is January 4th, 2023, and it's time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar build. Are you ready for some flesh tone colors? I am. Had some time for this to sit. And seeing as how this guitar is going to be mostly hand painted, let's take a look at it in the sun before I put any flesh tones to it. There we go. As you recall, looks pretty good. I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to have minor texture anomalies because that'll look cool with the paint. I'm gonna go 2K over everything anyway. So, alright, it's time to put the flesh tones on the flesh bits. The flesh tone on flesh bits. And I'm gonna use the leftover can. Hopefully there's enough in here to do what I need to do. It seems kind of low, but the Walmart's right down the street and we can get another can if need be. But we're going to be painting all the flesh tone parts, the feet, around the eyes, the mouth there, the ears, feet and hands. That's pretty much it. So let me put some color on there and we'll see in a little bit. Alright, just another quick update. Sun's starting to set, so we're losing daylight time, but I just wanted to show you some flesh tones. It's looking awesome. It's pretty cool. All the fleshy bits have got some flesh tone color. Let me go ahead and hang this up and I'll be right back. Alright. And I did on the sides as well. All the flesh parts. But yeah, there we go. Gizmo's got his first color. I'll let this set for about 2 days or so, and then we'll start hand brushing all the other parts. I'm thinking about doing maybe, I'm trying to think, maybe it doesn't really matter as far as I could do sections at a time because, you know, got plenty of brushes, got plenty of paint, so I could work on the head bit. And you know, he's gonna have white around the eye and then brown. And then here's the question, and I was thinking about this. Okay, Gizmo, his eyes. This little sliver here, that could be any color that I want it to be. I can make his eyes blue. You know what I mean? Which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, a blue-eyed Gizmo. I'm leaning between green and brown. The main part of the eye is going to be black, of course, and then the reflective part in the center is going to be white, and then the whites of the eyes, of course, is going to be white. But that little sliver right there can be basically any color I want it to be. And I think blue-colored Gizmo would be sweet, but that's something to consider. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Blue eyes, brown eyes, or green eyes, one of those 3 colors is going to be the little sliver of his eyes. But other than that, it's looking awesome. He's got his first colors, went really well. Painting is going good today. So, alright, and I'll see you when we get this in the house and such. Alright, I am pleased to say that I was a little impatient and I decided to go with some color, some base colors. I'm at, many coats of the brown, white, and the brown and the white's gonna go many coats. But this is just the first coat, a little bit of color. And I elected to go with the green eyes for now. But, that could change. Plus I might put some black lines that, kind of look like eyes. You know what I mean, black lines. But yeah, it turned out pretty cool. That is awesome. I am so glad I did this. It just kind of hit inspiration. Of course, I just did the front. I didn't do the back at all. The back is still just a flesh tone color. Let me show you. Yeah. but basically I'm going to go for that. And then once all that's done to, you know, how perfect as I can make it, then I'm going to go with 2K clear coat over the top of that, so it's going to be very shiny. It's going to be very cool. Still got to decide on the inlay for the neck and the headstock color, either black or brown. Probably Gizmo on the fretboard, but yeah, turned out pretty cool. Hope everybody's having a good night. It's dark outside. Time to call it a day. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll see you soon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's that time again. It's time to do some fret work. Alright, we're working on the Gizmo electric guitar build, and we're going to level, crown, and polish the frets as always, and address all of the fret ends, which are kind of sharp a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the fret end file. I've shown this process so many times on video, so I'll be real brief this time. Just gonna do the fret ends with the fret end file, and I'll put it back. Alright, quick update. I did the fret ends. Everything feels real nice. All the sharpness is gone. I went ahead and took my straight edge and I straightened the neck real good, and so it was good. And then I taped off the neck. So now I'm gonna mark it with my Sharpie. I'm gonna file all the frets level to themselves. Got a fresh 320 grit sandpaper on my leveling beam, and we'll see in a little bit. Alright, marked him, and I put a nice crown on all the frets, or the level on all the frets, my bad. Alright, next step is going to be to remark them, and then to use my crowning files and put a good crown on the top of the frets. Alright, we'll see in a little bit. Alright, got a nice crown on all the frets, looking good. Alright, so the frets have been leveled and crowned. Now I'm going to round them and polish them with the sandpaper all the way up from 800 to 10,000 grit sandpaper. So I'm going to go through and shine them up real good. So I'm going to show you how they look prior to rounding and the polishing. And we'll see if we can get that done. This is the longest step of the process, so we'll see in a little bit. Alright, all the frets have been leveled, crowned, polished, and they are looking awesome. I did all the fret ends, as you can see. Beautiful. Alrighty. Next step is going to be, I actually decided to do like I did on the Popeye guitar and actually put Gizmo on the frets. So I'm going to get out the PowerPoint program, figure out, maybe go online and see if there was any gremlins, see if there's any kind of logo or anything like that with Gizmo and any kind of font that they might have used. And if not, then I'll have to create one and we'll figure that out. And I'm going to do it in white paint on the fretboard. I've decided I'm going to paint the front of the fretboard brown and then have the white logo, the Raglan logo right there. So it's going to be cool. So let me get working on that now. Just wanted to show you one more time how well the frets turn out when I use the method that I've come up with the crowning, polishing, leveling, crowning, and polishing of the frets. Awesome, and the fret ends are just perfectly round and they feel just amazing. Yeah. Alright, so let me figure out something and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, searching online, I did find a Gizmo font. So there we go, Gizmo, and I'm going to use that font and I'm going to figure it out, the spacing and everything like that, and apply it to the fretboard and all that stuff. But I'll see you in a little bit, and then I'll figure out how I'm going to transfer that over, and I'll show you what the process is. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, I don't know if you guys are aware of the PowerPoint program, Microsoft PowerPoint, and this is how I zoom in. The graphic that I found wasn't a real clear, crisp font, so what I have to do is I have to go into my PowerPoint program. Let me show you. And see, I just clicked all this, and you go in insert and you go into that tool right there, and then you start one point and click, 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 and then you're clicking, and basically you're making this shape of an outline. And then once I do that, then I can get my mouse, and you see where the cursor is up at the top and the shape fill. You go into the shape fill, and then you go to the color here, and then you can make it white. So there you go, boom. You make it white, so it's white, and then the outline, and then white, and boom, you just cleaned up your font. And I got it really high resolution magnification rather, so, and I'll zoom that out and see. Now this is how the font was, and I'll go ahead and do the same thing with this side of it. So I'll go over here and I'll insert the tool, and then I'll start up here on the font. Hope this catches it. And you click your way around it, and you try to get as close as you can to the edge of the orange in this case. And that way I can have a real crisp font to apply to the fretboard. But alright, let me do this and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, cut it to the quickness of it and made it perfect like that. And then I zoom back out, and then I'll go to the color tab, and then I'll make it black. And then as you see, the font is in black, and all these little extra white little spots that were missing, like in the O there, and then the I, I'm going to go ahead and fill in, and then there we go. We're going to have the font. Let me do that and I'll be right back. Alright, perfect, and I filled in the voids, and there we go. Now we have the perfect font to use on the fretboard. So what I'll do is I'll save this as a JPEG file, and then I'll start a new presentation, and then I'll actually upload a picture of the exact neck that I'm using, and then I'll apply this to the neck, and then I'll shape it the way that it needs to be and how I like how it fits on the neck, covering the dots where it needs to. And I'll be right back. I'll show you that. Alright, and upload, open the new presentation, and I upload a picture of the exact fretboard that I'm using. And I'm going to try to do this one hand so I show you my process. Alright, so there's the picture of the fret, and here's the neck. Here's the actual neck. So what I'll do, I'll try to do this, get my mouse here, and I'll click on the right arrow, and I'll make the neck bigger, and then I'll actually match it up the size exactly to the size of the real guitar. See how the picture is too big, so I'll shrink the picture. So let me get the picture exactly the same size. I'll be right back. Alright, got the picture very close, and you go by the frets, and the headstock looks like it's a little bit bigger, but that doesn't matter. You look at the frets, and I match up the frets exactly to the physical neck with the picture of the neck. Then once I determine that, okay, so that looks good to me. All the frets line up exactly where they need to be, so this picture is exactly the shape, or exactly the size fret-wise as the neck itself, which is important. Alright, so then what I'm going to do, put the neck down. The neck we just did the fret work on, put the neck down. And then I'm going to upload that picture of that font. Go up here. I love PowerPoint. PowerPoint's so useful. I know it's old school, but go to the desktop and go to the font that I just created by, what did I call it? I think I called it Gizmo font. Okay, where's it at? I'll find it. There it is, Gizmo font, right there. So I'll click on that, and I'll insert this. Okay, and then I'll come here to the color correction. Well, first I'll crop this. Crop this picture of the font. Crop it to where, the size is that way it doesn't go over. Okay, so it's a good crop. Go up here, hit crop again. And then I'll go into the color correction tab, and I'll set transparent color, and I'll do it on the white. And you see now the font I can manipulate any way I want to, and I'm going to figure it out. And let me recolor the font, that way you can see it on there, and I can recolor it black again. But now see, I made the color the font this color. So what now I'll do is I'll position it on the frets exactly in the position to where it covers the dots that I need it to. And see, I can stretch the, I can expand, either I can adjust the font this way, or I can expand it this way to my needs. And I want to cover certain dots. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. I'll figure out something that's good. And you want to be off the sides, you know, a smidge or so, you know. So looks like it's about the right height. I'm going to get a little bit shorter, but I'll definitely have to make it wider to fit where I want it to fit. All right, I'll be right back. All right, more or less got it positioned on the fretboard where I think it looks pretty cool. And you always want to position where the frets are, because you don't want to you want to be able to distinguish what the letters are. And I think where the frets are, like that fret there, and then with the I right in the center, and then you can still see the Z. And then when you go to paint, you can actually accentuate this, that, and the other thing. And I like the M. You know, there's enough there of the wood grain to be able to determine the left leg of the M, and then the right, and then the 0. And then as you know, I'm covering up the fret markers on the 3rd fret, so it's right there under the M, covering up that dot there, the 5th fret, dot there, and the 7th fret, there's a dot there. So I have to cover those 3 dots in the same time. So it's fairly complex, I guess. Complicated, can be complicated, but I think that's going to look really killer as far as Gizmo, and it's going to be white, not this color. But let me go ahead and make it white, and let me see how that looks. So, and then I'll go ahead and put some silver lines over the hold on a second, let me color it white again. Let's see, there we go. So that's basically how it's going to look on the frets, and it's looking very cool, and it's going to match the white dots, and it's going to match the white headstock logo. It's going to be brown and then white. So what I'll go ahead and do real quick is I'll put the frets, you know, I'll put some lines over the frets to make it look how it would look actually when it's on the fretboard. All right, I'll be right back. All right, just added some lines over the frets, over the logo, just to show you what the logo will look like with the silver frets in between. So still see the M, you can still make out the Z, the I, and the G, so this is perfect. So I think that font will work exactly. All right, so the next step is going to be to take everything off the presentation except for the font, how it's shaped, and then I'll have to get my Cricut machine out and then figure out, adjust for the shape. I'll have to measure the frets and measure. Right now I'm going to measure from left to right and up and down, and then we can put it to our ruled out Cricut machine, and then we'll print one out and then test it, and then I'll show you when we get to that step. But that's basically how the the paint logo is going to look. And like I said, it's going to cover the 3rd fret marker, the 5th, and the 7th. So that's going to be pretty cool. So that's how I come up with, this is how I do this process. I mean, it looks complicated, but it's really not. So all right, let me do the next step, and I'll be right back. Alright, got my logo uploaded on the Cricut design space, and I measured from left to right the font, and it's roughly 8 3/8. So as you can see, I've got it stretched out from 8 3/8. Alright, so I'm going to use just regular transfer paper. Seeing as I'm not going to actually make a logo, I'm just going to make a void. Either I'm going to, okay, there's 2 ways we can do this. I'll have to apply it and see how it works the best. Apply the transfer tape to, once the cutout is cut onto the transfer paper, apply it and see if it's sprayable. If it's sprayable, prefer it to spray it, because then you spray it and it's all one uniform coat and it's one color, bada boom, bada bing, you're done. You peel off the transfer tape and then you've got an amazing looking logo. But if that's not going to work for some reason because of the extra cutting you have to do for the frets, then what I'll do is, once I got a position where I want, I'll get the pencil, and you've probably seen me do this before, and then I'll trace the outlines, and then I'll actually hand paint it. But we're not to that step yet, so let me go ahead and print out on there. I'll use my sheet here and cut me out a piece of transfer tape, and I'll be right back, and we'll show you the next step. Alright, got my piece of transfer tape in the backing on the machine on the mat, and I got it set up here, so I'll go ahead and make it. So you go to the top right corner and you click on make it, and then it'll show you proof of that. It looks good. Continue, and then it'll set the machine up, make sure I got it plugged in, turned on, what material I'm using. And usually the settings for these, I usually use that setting there. You can change how deep it cuts. So it's good to go there. So what you do is you make sure it's lined up as far as it's in the machine correctly. You'll hit that button there. It'll position itself, grab the mat a certain way. Okay, and then you'll hit cut, the second button there. And then it'll go ahead and cut out your design, how you have it set up on your paper. Ooh, okay. Something I didn't make. Hold on, I gotta cancel this. There you go. Well, actually, I'm gonna let it cut it, and I can see if it's. I didn't cut the transfer piece long enough. It's 8 3/8 big, and I only made it about 8 2/8. So it's gonna cut out the shape now. Funny, but yeah, and it caught. So all right, let me see how it caught. Oh, that's not good. Okay, learning lesson to myself. But this way, I'll let it go ahead and run it, and then it looks like it's finished. So it's finished, and it's a bad cut, but anyway, I'll take the, anyway, let me get set up here, and I'll be right back. Okay, and see, it's a little bigger than I want it to be, because it's supposed to cover up where it's supposed to cover up, and it's not. So I'll make it actually a little bit smaller. So this is actually a good thing. See, it should be a little bit smaller, because this is a little bit too big. So this just really matter. So let me go ahead and make another copy, and it'll be smaller. I'll be right back. Alright, I think I came up with a perfect size, and it's covering what it needs to cover. It looks pretty awesome. So what I'm gonna have to do is for the fret, I'm gonna try to spray paint it instead of having to physically hand paint it. I think it'll come out better that way, and it'll look more consistent. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to cut by the frets, and then get all the stickers so they're inside and they're covering what they need to cover, and I'll be right back. Alright, another quick update. I think we are successfully taped. I'll make sure all the tape is pressed down where it needs to be, and we're gonna go ahead and apply some white paint on the neck here, on the fretboard, as you can see. And I'll make sure all these little corners, like these little corners that might pop up, whatever. I've got my sharp pointer tool, and I'll go through here and I'll make sure that they're all pressed down so the paint doesn't slide underneath them. And I'll make sure all that. And we'll go put some layers of paint on here. Fingers crossed it turns out pretty good. I think it shouldn't have any problems, but all right, let me go knock that out. Fingers crossed. Whew, deep breath. All right, we'll see in a little bit. All right, looks like a successful application of the white paint. You can see the reflection of the letters. Let this cure for a couple more minutes maybe, and then start carefully pulling off the tape. All right, we'll see in a little bit. All right, here's the results. Not absolutely perfect. I do love the font though. I think its spacing is perfectly positioned. I'm gonna get some black paint and some white paint and do some touch-ups, but yeah, overall not too bad. It's workable. I'm gonna put a black, real fine black border around all the letters and seal it in and make it look perfect. So all right, fingers crossed on that, and we'll see in a little bit. All right, successful touch-ups. Looking pretty awesome. I tightened up the lines, added a little bit of black around the borders of each letter, and it's looking pretty killer. All right, so I'll let this dry for a little while, and I'll touch it up and refine it more. And when I do the 2K process, 2K spray paint with a hardener, I'll actually apply a layer over the top. That way it'll seal it in. So, all right. That'll conclude today's work on the Gizmo electric guitar. Looking cool. So when this dries, we'll tape up the neck, and then we'll paint the front of the headstock brown and have the white logo, kind of like the brown and the white on the body. And it's cool, and I got these really fine tip brushes. So I'm going to go in there and touch up everything really good tomorrow. And redo the brown, put another layer of white, and get it looking perfect. Prepping it for the 2K clear coat. So Alright, and I hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Lisa Simpson guitar turned out amazing. So did the Sonic the Hedgehog. So things are rolling, working good. No, actually it turned out really good. So, alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Gizmo. Alright, how's everybody doing on this fine day? It is January 7th, 2022, and all the final base coat touch-up paint have been applied to the Gizmo electric guitar build. And I just wanted to show you. Did a little bit of shadowing, and definitely did the painting with the brown, the fur effect. It turned out pretty cool, I think. Yeah, and I did it on the sides as well with all the continuity bits, like on the front. Hopefully the light can pick up. But yeah, I think it turned out amazing. Next step is going to be the 2K clear coat. And that'll make everything glossy and unified. That is amazing. Alright, hope everybody's having a good weekend. And the Gizmo electric guitar build is taking shape. Alright, and we will see you soon. You can almost see him like blink an eye, can't you? Alright. Good afternoon, everybody. January 8, 2023. Time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar build. Simple day today. We're just going to put some brown paint on the front of the headstock. And I got it taped up the way I like it. And this is a treated neck. As you can see, there's a finish on there, so it should be fairly simplistic. So we're going to go with the brown. And then we'll have white. Once that dries, then we'll apply white logo. But let me go ahead and knock that out, and I'll be right back. Alright, successful paint on the top of the headstock. And, you know, I actually question whether I should hand brush it on there, seeing how that's textured and everything like that. But you know what? I think it'll give it a cool effect. And once I put the white on there, I might outline it in black. But yeah, looks pretty cool. Alright. Simple one today. We'll see you next step when this dries in a couple days. Pretty cool. Alright, see you in a little bit. Good morning, everybody. Just a quick update on the Gizmo electric guitar. I went ahead and put a can of 2K clear coat over the guitar. And as you can see, I'm trying to get it in the light a certain way. It looks amazing. Yeah. Try to not bump it or anything because I just sprayed it about an hour ago, so it's still kind of curing. But I just wanted to show you how good it turned out. I'm excited on getting this one put together. Yeah, that 2K really does make everything shine and look good. Alright, hope everybody's having a good day. I'm going to work on logos of headstocks today, this afternoon, weather permitting. I just wanted to show you the Gizmo. Alright, we'll see you soon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's January 12th, 2023, and it's time to continue work on the Gizmo electric guitar. If you see my post earlier, I did the 2K clear coat over the body, and it looks amazing. Now I got the Cricut machine out, and it's time to make some logos. Alright, so let me, gonna make a headstock logo for the Gizmo electric guitar, and then I've got a couple, you know, the Sonic the Hedgehog and Lisa Simpson guitar. I'm going to make the logos for them as well. But alright, so let me get everything set up. Let me get my logo on the design space for the Cricut, and we'll be right back. Alright, we had my logo in design space, and I went ahead and printed it out. Let's see if it picks it up. There we go. Let's see if it'll show it. There we go. Come on. Zoom in, zoom in. There you go. Anyway, let's see if it's the proper size and everything like that. Let me get the transfer tape out, and we'll be right back. I think we got a good size. Got it peeled off. Now I'll get the transfer tape and we'll transfer it over to the neck. We'll be right back. Alright, it's successful installation of the headstock logo. Pretty cool. Alright, so now time to tape it up, and I think we're okay outside, and can go ahead and apply some 2K clear coat. That way the body and the headstock will dry at the same rate, and then we'll be able to put it together probably about 4 days. So alright, let me get it taped up and we'll see you inside. Good morning, everybody. It is January 15th, 2023, and as you can see, after several weeks of creation from drawing phase to where we are now, it is time to assemble the Gizmo electric guitar. I am so excited. I've been waiting for this for a while. As you can see, I got all my parts, got all my tools. It's going to be a pretty simple, straightforward assembly, hopefully, fingers crossed. I don't foresee any problems at all. I'm going to have to mount the pickup, of course. I'm going to have to probably create some pieces and drill and do what I need to do, but it's going to be amazing. I just wanted to show you one more time in the cool lighting of the room here. The 2K clear coat that was put on here several days ago. It's that time to cure, and yeah, it is just, I always like the reflections in here. It really shows it off really nicely. So, all right. So, first step as always, you set it back down real gingerly. First step as always is going to be to install the ground wire for the bridge and then install the bridge. So let me get that going and we will see you in a minute. Alright. You ready, Gizmo? You ready to be strung up? You almost hear him humming that, can't you? Alright, we'll see you in a sec. Alright, got the ground wire. I got some exposed wire there and I fed it through to the pedometer cavity. Now it's time to install the bridge. We install the bridge and we'll be right back. Alright, successful installation of the bridge. No problem at all. Easy peasy. I like it when it goes smooth. Alright. So we call my brand new chrome pickup, and this pickup is rated for 15.7 K ohms, so it's very bright, very hot. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out the springs. I'm going to pull out some springs. Probably going to cut some little tabs depending on how deep it flush it goes. Let me get that figured out and we'll be right back. Gizmo. Alright, real quick before we install the pickup, I'm going to go ahead and show you this. Okay, as far as wiring is concerned, I'm not going to use the coil split capability. These pickups have good coil split capabilities, but for this guitar I just went with a straight pedometer, so no need. I'm pretty sure, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did, yep. It's got the standard pedometer right there. So we're going to go ahead, let me show you the wiring little bits. The green and the bare is the ground, the red and the white is for coil splitting, or not coil splitting, I'm sorry. Yeah, coil splitting. Yeah, and the black is the hot. And there's actually, between the coil split and coil tap, I've explained that before. The coil split is this, you got a switch that you can pull up and down, and you can use either both or just the single coils. There's two coils in there, but anyway. So we're going to go ahead and tape the red and the white off back to the wire itself, and then we'll get ready to fish it through and figure all that out. I was seeing that. I just want to show you what I meant. I just basically took the red and the white wire and just took some electrical tape and just taped it back to the side. So we're going to use the hot for the black, and then the ground is going to be a pretty straightforward, simple wiring on this one. So, alright, we'll see you in a second. Alright, successful installation of the pickup. It was pretty straightforward and simple. I used basically, got my soldering iron ready to go, and make sure it doesn't melt anything I don't want it to do. But like I said, the installation of the pickup was pretty straightforward. I used these basic springs, and I used mounting screws for the pickup ring, and I just made a little hole for each side that didn't go that deep, so I don't got to worry about it going through the back piece of wood or anything. So we're good to go. And it's got that film on there, and I'll take that off there when the appropriate time comes. Alright, so next step is to get ready for my input jack. And I've already pre-bent and shaped the input jack earlier, so I'll just install a ground wire white and a hot wire red. I used red for this one. You can tell I have my brand new, well not brand new, but got all my colors. So we'll do that, we'll feed that through and install it, and we'll see on the other side of that. Pretty simple. It's going pretty uneventful so far, so fingers crossed, we'll see in a little bit. Alright, went ahead and put the ground wire and the hot wire. Pretty simple, straightforward. Okay, so now I'm going to fish it through the opening there, the input opening, into the pedometer cavity, and then I'll put the screws in and we'll see in a sec. Alright, successful input installation, input jack installation. Pretty simple, straightforward. Alright, so now we're going to turn the guitar over, get all my parts, get my pedometer and everything like that, and then we'll go ahead and wire this guitar up. Pretty simple, good wiring, and we'll see in a second. Alright, pretty simple, straightforward wiring. Everything looks good to go. Got all the grounds. There's 3 grounds. 1 ground from the pickup, 1 ground from the input, 1 ground for the bridge. Got all of them together. The hot goes on the first prong. First prong. And then the hot from the input jack goes in the center prong. So the first prong is from the hot from the pickup. So, alright, so let me go ahead and put the pedometer in the cavity, and then fish all this wire through and install the knob and all that good stuff. So, alright, we'll see you in a second. Alright, carefully pressed in all the wires, made sure that nothing was making contact it wasn't supposed to, and I feel pretty confident on this one, so I'll go ahead and put the back cover plate on prior to the actual audio test, so it shouldn't be that. It was a very simplistic wiring, so fingers crossed that, worst case, we'll just take it apart again if we have some sort of shorting issue or something. But let me go ahead and get the back cover plate, install that, and we'll be right back. Alright, successful installation of the back cover plate. Looks awesome. I took off the film already. See, it shines. Well, it shines in light. So, alright, so it's time for a full-on test. It's the audio test, and see if we did well with the wiring, which, fingers crossed we did. I think we did, so we'll turn it over and we'll be right back. Alright, we're ready for a full-on test. I got the volume knob installed, got my guitar lead nice and hot. As per tradition, turn the volume all the way down. So we do this one-handed this time. I might have to put the camera down for a second to initially. Alright, yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, we're ready for a full-on test. Got it, plugged into the input jack. Alright, and by tradition I always start with the volume down. Shouldn't get anything at all, and we don't get anything. Alright, we turn the volume all the way up and we should get popping. Alright, successful, and both coils are activated, so we're good to go. Let's go halfway and see if it diminishes. Yes, it did. It diminishes a little bit more. Yep, a little bit less, a little bit less. Awesome. Successful input jack, successful wiring, everything's good to go. Alright, so now the next step is to take this and go hang it back on the rack. So I'm going to show you how it looks. Looks pretty killer. Hang it back on the rack, and then we'll start getting the neck sorted. We'll put the tuning keys and the string trees and all that good stuff. So, alright, it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty awesome. Alright, we'll do that, and I'll be right back. We'll get the neck out and start working on that. Alright, see you in a second. Alright, got the neck out and all cleaned up all non-essential tools and equipment and everything. And we've got our string trees and we've got our tuning keys, and we'll get them installed and we'll be right back. Just wanted to show you how good the 2K clear coat turned on the face of the headstock. Headstock look was pretty good. Wish I would have taken a little bit more time with it, but I think it was just a hair big. I could have made it a little smaller, but it looks fine. It's just me being nitpicky. And of course I did put the 2K clear coat over the white base paints and the black accent color. That way it'll lock it in and the color of the paint won't change. Because if you don't do that step, I've noticed that, when you're using your hands on the neck, or you use any kind of lubricant, it'll actually make the white yellowish. So we don't want that. Alright, so let me do that. Let me install those 2 items and we'll be right back. Alright, got the string trees and the tuning keys installed, and it looks awesome. No problems at all. Went very uneventful. Alright, it is that time. It is time to connect the body to the neck for the first time since it's been painted and whatnot. And as per tradition, we set the neck on there. I'm gonna get the body up, the hanger over there, and we'll get these two together and see what happens. Alright, we'll see in a bit. Alright, here we are at the moment of truth. Time to connect the neck to the body. And actually, before I do that, I'm actually gonna treat the neck, the fretboard, that way we can saturate and make it really good. I'm gonna use my my go-to here for that purpose is the feed and wax. I'm going to go ahead and apply feed and wax on the neck there, and then we'll get these two together. I don't foresee anything being a problem at all. So actually I'm going to put the necks together and then put the neck to the bridge, or put the neck on the body and then do the treatment because I don't want it slimy in my hands. So alright, we'll see you in a sec. Alright, successfully attached the neck to the body and it is looking amazing. Oh, I love doing this. I love making guitars. This is the satisfaction of it when it all comes together. The neck went on perfectly, no issues at all. I think we're gonna be right dialed in. Alright, next step is gonna be to take off the pickup cover, or the plastic film that's on there, and we'll have a brilliantly bright shining pickup. Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. I'll definitely have to go through here and get my fingerprints off everything when I do the photo shoot. But alright, so I'm going to go ahead and treat the neck, and I'll just get some Q-tips and then I'll dab it with my feed and wax and get all that set, and then we're ready for the two E-strings. We'll do E-strings to make sure everything is lined up perfectly. So alright, we'll see you in a bit. Just want to show you. That is so cool. The logo, the Gizmo turned out really good. That font is just amazing. It just fits so well. And I like that I did the headstock brown. The brown headstock. That matches so perfectly. So, alright. See you next step. Oh, let me show you the back. Just wanted to show you. Boom. Yeah, turned out perfect so far. Fingers crossed everything else goes just as smoothly. You just never really know. But alright, we'll see you in a sec. Alright, got all the strings on there. I don't have in the picture or anything, but I just wanted to show you how awesome and amazing that looks. That is just so killer. And I'm satisfied with all the alignments of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and install the strap buttons. And I like to use the Strehler or the Dunlop strap locking buttons. These are my favorite. I've got them on all my guitars. So I always get the actual pieces. So go ahead and install them and we'll be back in a second. Alright, went ahead and installed the strap buttons and it looks pretty cool. Just wanted to show you how it looks on the back side of it. It just looks cool. Alright. Now it's time to get the strings up to pitch and see how everything is working out. See if all my measurements are correct. Always fingers crossed. Always make sure you always get the bridge in the correct area. That's what we gotta be. Alright, looks good so far. Alright, let me get that going and we'll see you in a bit. Alright, another quick update. I got the initial setup, intonation, and tune, and it's sounding and it's playing amazing. I'm gonna let it settle for a day or two. Let me adjust the camera. It's always got to settle, you know, because things tend to shift when you first put one of these together. And not always, never really extremely, but of course strings are still stretching, but here's one for you. See if you know this one. What about this one? Here, we'll check it out one more time. Pretty cool. You can definitely get to all the higher registered frets. Get the camera situated just right, but yeah. I love these pickups. These pickups are awesome. The same pickup that's in the Popeye electric guitar build. But I just wanted to show you briefly how it turned out. It's completely assembled, so it fits right in your lap perfectly right there. And the strings are stretching, so brand new strings, the good strings. This is how it looks when you're standing holding it. Just the camera again. But yeah, this turned out way cool. Anyway, strings are stretching, so it's going to be stretching a little bit. But yep, I am completely happy with the end results. If you've been following this build from the beginning on my Facebook page, you've seen from the drawing to the collecting and piecing together of the strap wood to the finished guitar, which is really cool. And I've done it at home with basic tools. And hope you enjoyed following me on this journey. I think, like I said before, I think the guitar turned out amazing. Sounds really killer. It would be really cool to pull this out on stage, especially play some dirty denim covers. I'm sorry, I am like completely tongue-tied. Really cool band that I've discovered just fairly recently. Need to check them out, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can see all the continuity bits that I've talked about before, and I'll do a full photo shoot and sound demonstration on everything. So I'm going to show you the top bits, see the continuity bits, and I'm going to do that gremlin guitar here starting pretty soon too, with the popcorn and the sunglasses. So alright, that concludes the assembly of the Gizmo electric guitar build. Turned out really killer. I'm really liking everything about it. No problems at all. Like I said, I'll let this settle for a day or two, and that way it'll have time to shift, you know, because the neck will get positioned where it's going to go. And then I'll do a full-on intonation, re-intonation, because I intonated it now and it's perfectly intonated, and there's plenty of adjustment for the bridge and everything like that, and that's cool. The volume and the pickup is just awesome, and the strap button placements, I mean, it's just perfect. So alright, hope everybody's having a good start of the week. It's Sunday, it's the end of the week. Sunday the 15th of January 2023, and the Gizmo electric guitar build. So pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, and we will see you soon. Continue working on the Sonic the Hedgehog guitar build and Lisa Simpson guitar. Just wanted to show it to you. And of course I'll do an up close and personal video like I like to do, but turned out pretty cool. Alright, hope you're having a good day, and we will see you soon. Alright. Good morning, everybody. It is January 16th, 2023. And if you follow me on my Facebook page, you know that I recently completed this awesome guitar. This is the Gizmo electric guitar build. And I was thinking this morning, you know, it'd be a really cool idea to do a sound demonstration of how this guitar sounds and plays. And I thought, what better way than to do a cover of the song called Creatures of the Night by a band called the Dirty Denims. This amazing band I recently discovered, so I figured I'd give it a whirl. What do you think of this? Hope everybody has a good week, and we will see you soon. Rock on. Okay, how you doing? It's Brian Ragland. It is January 18, 2023, and this is the voiceover and photo shoot of the Gizmo electric guitar build. Oh wow, this guitar was so much fun to make. I really enjoyed every step of the process, and it turned out way better than my expectations initially. And it was kind of just out of nowhere. I wasn't even planning on building this guitar per se, and an inspiration one night just kind of hit me. And there I went on and started coming up with the concept drawing. And this is the finished guitar, obviously. And it's just the paint, between the paint, the layout. I mean, structurally, it falls right perfectly right in your knees and everything like that, like I explained in videos during the creation of this guitar. Yeah, the eye right there, I like to go with the green eye. Normally Gizmo has brown eyes, but I thought it looked kind of cool with the green eyes, so I decided to go with green. I could have went with any color, could have even went with a blue-eyed Gizmo, but that might be a stretch. But yeah, it's a really good pickup. Standard top load Strat style bridge, and the flesh tone colors turned out really good. I elected to use just the one can of 2K clear coat over the top, and that I think was sufficient. On this guitar I actually did the texturing a little bit on the top, but I did the paint with the painted it to where it looked like fur along with the Dremel bits, so I kind of incorporated both techniques that I've kind of developed. And I've been building these guitars for a while, and I'm always learning, and it's always a evolution. So whenever I make a new guitar, I always try to definitely use all the skills that I've learned to this point, but also just expand my horizons and try different new techniques, and just come up with ideas just whenever things hit me. So I just really just kind of, it's such an evolution building guitars from the very beginning when I first started. I mean, it was, I look back on some of those videos now, and I was so green, and it was so raw, some of the guitars that I first built. But I don't regret every paint mess up, every bad paint reaction, every failed attempt. I mean, you have to kind of, I've learned that you kind of have to go through these things for it to, for you to cross that next hurdle and go over that next barrier. I love building guitars, and it gives me so much joy, and I've said this so many times on these voiceovers, and this voiceover is completely on the fly. It's completely unscripted, obviously. So just whatever comes to my head, and it's just, I don't know what else to say about building guitars in general. It's just such a passion. It's such a joy. I highly recommend anybody that has the means and the time and the ambition just to do it. I mean, anything's possible. And with the method that I've come up with, it seems like any shape of guitar, there's no limits, there's no boundaries. It's just, you just do what you have to do. And this guitar in particular was made from just scrap pieces of wood that I had in the garage, because I knew I had to go get some more wood because I had ran out of actual wood. Because I've shown in other guitar builds where I go to Lowe's and I pick up the plywood. I usually use plywood, and then I have them cut the 4x8 sheets down to size so I can transport it in my smaller vehicle. I don't have a truck or anything, so, and it's evolution, and like I said. But yeah, I love the back cover plate. It's so small and it's perfectly fit, and all the toning and the texturing, and it balances really well. Like the strap buttons, like you see there on the back plate there. Wow, this guitar, it's just amazing. It's cool, and I found that there's such a following for the Gremlins and for Gizmo on Facebook and other social media, And because of the guitar, I was introduced to a really cool band called the Dirty Denims, and I play a song, of course, called Creatures of the Night by them. I did a cover, and it was really fun. All the members of that band are really, really great musicians, and I have to give a shout out. They are just such a great band. So if you check them out on YouTube, they've got like a lot of great songs. They're very great live act. Yeah, and here's some of my. Always at the end, I always try to include me with the guitar, and I take all these hammed up pictures. And looking at them, it seems a bit cheesy to me somewhat, but I know it's necessary. But getting at the end here, so thank you everybody for watching this build from the very beginning. And stay tuned. I've got so much more I want to do, and so many more guitars that I want to build. So hope everybody has a good night and a good week, and be good to each other. And we'll see you next time.